All right, what's up? Let's have some fun. I am TJ McClellan, broker of Fitness Realty. We are here for another training video. This one is all about rental numbers. I'm hoping to just do this one flying off the cuff. So um, if I overstep or start to just stumble around and try to find some interesting things to put in, just know that this one's like live. We're just flying by the seat of our pants. So we are talking about rental numbers. This one really is to try to show you how you can help coach some of your investors if you start running into those. Um, and it will give you more perspective on what they're looking for and some of the lingo and numbers that they're looking for. So, what I have up here right now is Utah real estate. I went to multi-unit search. I went to active listings, duplex, tries, fourplex in Salt Lake County. There's only 21 that are active currently. We're just going to run some numbers on this one right here. I brought it up earlier in the MLS deep dive video, so I kind of wanted to use this for our rental numbers. All right. Hopefully you guys can see this pretty good. Maybe I'll make it a little bigger. Okay, so I picked this one. I just wanted to run some numbers and show you what it looks like when I'm running numbers for or helping an investor run numbers. This is a duplex in Salt Lake County. They have it listed at 350. 10 days on the market. You guys know right now is so hot that 10 days, either there's something really wrong with this thing, or the price is just too high, or they just haven't found the right contract, something like that. Okay. Let's go up here. Just remember these kind of key pieces here. We're going to be utilizing those for our numbers. So the first place I like to go is our rentometer or rentometer or whatever you want to call it. I have no idea what to call it. I have a pro account through rentometer or rentometer or whatever. And this, you just punch in the address really quick. So let's just copy that. Salt Lake. Punch it in. It is ran by Google backend support on address selection. I usually don't put a rent, but let's just put 1,000 to say whatever. Let's look at unit 1 is a 2-bedroom. They're both 2 bedrooms. So let's do 2-bedroom, 1 bath. This is a house, so let's do a house duplex. So you can see there's some criteria you can set, and then we just analyze address. If you don't have the pro account, it has limited features, but you can still get most of the information that you're looking for. All right, so we got some numbers here. They have 909 up to 1187. Those are kind of the statistical brackets. We could be looking at this View Pro report would actually show you like every listing that's on here. So all these little marks that are all over the place, it would show you the criteria that they've used for the rent. So let's just take this average though. Average 1,048. So of course the main unit, well, since it's a duplex side by side, it's probably going to be close to the same. Sorry, I keep trying to flip flop to a mother-in-law. If it was a mother-in-law, the main unit on the main floor usually gets more income than the one in the basement, of course. So just put that into some of your calculations. But let's use 1050 for each unit. That'll make our math really easy. So that's 2,100 total for the entire duplex. Once you know where you're looking at for rent numbers, I like to use Bigger Pockets. We have a pro account with Bigger Pockets. It's like $400 a year to use all their tools. Then you go to tools. Even if you don't buy the pro account, it just makes it so you can only run like 5 calculators a month or something. So if you're running more calculators than 5 per month, maybe you need to get a pro account. Let's do start new report. So this one is, sorry, let's go over their tools. They have rental property tools, fix and flip, BRRRR method, which is buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. I believe that's it. So BRRRR method, a lot of people love that because they buy a junky property, fix it up, rehab, put new renters in there with really strong rent, and then refinance and pull out the equity that's probably in the property now and continue to rent it long term. So Burr method is really like fix and flip and rental property all baked up into one. So they're pretty cool. I've never done rehab estimator, wholesale, mortgage payment. Anybody can do a mortgage payment calculator for you. If you're just talking about mortgage payment calculator, just have Michelle run your numbers or somebody smart. 70% rule. I've never used that. Airbnb. I've never done any short-term rental stuff. All we deal with is long-term rental. So let's get into rental property calculator. Start new report, like I said. Address. You don't even need to fill most of this out, so I'm just going to put Salt Lake. You guys know where we're at. I'm not even going to put a zip code. Nobody cares. You could put in property features and description if you want. I just know we're going to go straight and look it up at the MLS, so it just doesn't matter. Purchase price, let's say we need to get this thing for $350. Closing costs, let's say we're going to need 2%. And property value growth, you know this number right here is probably pretty poor for Utah. So you could tweak this if you wanted to. I'm just going to leave it the same just because we need to see the rent number figures and see what we're working with. If you're doing cash purchase, of course, click cash, but most of the time my investors are not all cash. So let's say we're going to do 25% down so that we don't have to actually move into it and use FHA. But I'll actually show you what an FHA calculator looks like as well. Let's say our interest rate, since it's going to be an investment, let's just call it 3. Let's say there's no points. We're doing 30 years. Income, here's the monthly gross income. That's why we needed that rental number from Rentometer. Income growth, this just calculates income growth. You could decide if you were going to just up the rent 3% per year or 2% or whatever you're going to do. There's a way to grow that through here. Property taxes, just jump over and get those. $13.90. And sorry if I went too fast, but you just flip back to the MLS and have their estimated taxes. Just use that right off the cuff. I mean, you can do fine tuning of this with your investor or yourself later when you can actually get the tax information from the sell side. Insurance, let's just say we're doing $75 a month. Right? Ask your insurance agent what it would cost to have housing insurance for that unit. Actually, let's call this $100 a month. I think my homeowner's policy, not here at this house because it's only renter's policy right now, but on my old house it was about $100 a month or 78. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember. Okay, repairs and maintenance. I like to use a number for 7%. Vacancy, I like to use a number of 5%. Capital expenditures, I like 7% again. And management fees, if you're using us or somebody else, they're probably going to be 10%. We have some of our owners currently on 8%, but it's just too cheap to do the service, so we're moving it to 10. You could put in electricity, gas, water, and sewer, who's ever is paying for what. Let's say we're paying the water and sewer, and it's $25 on this. Sorry, we're just going to pay the sewer. Let's change that. Let's say we're going to pay for everything, water and sewer, and if they go over $75 in water, then they just pay for the overage. HOA fees, I don't believe this had one, so 0 here for HOA fees. Of course, if you buy a condo or something, it's definitely going to have HOA fees, so put that in there. And then garbage is probably $25 a month. The reason why we like to put water and sewer and HOA fees on the landlord or owner side is because cities and HOAs can lien against the property if you don't pay for water or sewer or HOA payments. But if they don't pay their electric payment or gas, they just shut it off. So your tenant would just not have electricity. It's typically what happens there. So some nuances there. I'm not going to do too much fine tuning on that. I just want to get to the final analysis. Okay. $94 a month. This doesn't look too terrible, actually. A lot of people want to make way more than this. I've had investors say if they make $50 a door, that's good enough. If they're making $100, that's really good. If you're making way more than that, like some of the investors I know right now, they either bought the house a while ago or they just found a screaming deal. Either way, kudos to you guys. That's awesome. Okay, so right now we have income at $2,100 a month with those two rental sides. Our expenses are roughly $2,005, and I'll show you why the expenses are pretty high. Okay, if we come down in here to the breakdown, we have our mortgage payment, taxes, insurance, variable expenses, fixed expenses. This fixed expenses is coming from over here, water and sewer. We didn't have an HOA. The variable expenses, check this out. So if you have it rented for the entire year, you don't have a vacancy minimization off of your numbers, right? So that's money you just put in your pocket. So that's why I like to anticipate all of these expenses, because you know you're going to have some, but you don't know when they're going to happen. So plan your 5% vacancy, and then when you do have a vacancy, you have money on hand to help you out to get through that. Same thing with maintenance, same thing with CapEx. CapEx is called capital expenditures. Capital expenditures are the big stuff. That's like roof, HVAC system, full bore kitchen, like you do a bunch of stuff. Maybe CapEx might not be in there. That might be in maintenance. I can't remember what the stuff that qualifies for CapEx, but most of the time it's all the big stuff, right? Like I just mentioned. If you had to re-pour a driveway, that's a CapEx, capital expenditure. And then management fees over here, that's of course the 10% to manage it. If you're managing it for yourself, of course that goes away. So let's come down here and talk about numbers. Net operating income, that's NOI. COC ROI is called cash on cash, return on investment. So that means you're making 1.2% on the money that you invested, right? Because we come up here to what we put in, wherever that's at. Right here. Total cash needed, $94,500. So if we put in $94,500, right, because we needed to put 20% down or whatever we were doing, 25% down, sorry, we're making 1.2% on our money. That's not very good. If you put it in the stock market, right, you're going to do 10% or whatever. The nice thing here is you have tax leverage against this property, which is what most people don't realize is in there, but they love to say there's lots of different ways to invest, right? Okay, 50% rule. Usually this 50% rule is talking about how much expenses you have. This is like a quick, dirty rule of thumb, where if you had 50% or less in expenses, it looks good. Here's a sweet graph. Property value, of course, goes up. I would say this is probably too slow. Of course, in our market, it's probably going up a lot faster than that right now, especially. This is what your equity line looks like. Of course, your equity line eventually catches up with your home value once you've paid off that loan. In my opinion, holding a property longer than 20 years is not usually beneficial, because then you run out of tax leverage. But that's a whole other story I could dive into. Okay, now that we've seen that, I want to edit this, and we're just going to take out the property management fee if you're going to do it by yourself. Whoops, there we go. And then since let's just say we're going to take repairs, vacancy, and CapEx out, and we're just going to put all that money in your pocket. Let's just take a look at what that looks like. Okay, now we're at $703 a month cash flow, and this looks a lot better. Here's your net operating income, 21 grand. Cash on cash is 9%. This actually doesn't look too bad. So I would be asking some of my investors around here if they thought that they could make 9% cash on cash ROI in the stock market with tax leverage. However, of course, we just took out all of the vacancy, maintenance, CapEx, so This isn't the real raw cash numbers. Okay, that's the down and dirty on rental numbers. I just wanted to kind of show you guys some tools out there, give you some like information to just go hard with your clients and really start talking about investing in real estate. Of course, it's not even just for your clients. This is gee whiz information for you guys. How to get started, how to get involved, how to run numbers and look at it. So anyway, I'm TJ McClellan, Broker of Fitness Realty. This has been a video about rental numbers. Love you guys, and I thank you guys for your support. And as always, I'm always around. Text me, call me anytime. All right, we'll see you.